You got the whole world in your pocket.
Welcome, Jo. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. And Matt was not joking. These pages are scented. And I think on the train commuting when I was reading this book, preparing for today, I made everyone's commute that much better on the stinky trains.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure.
I was telling Jo backstage, this book was absolutely incredible. I literally wept. I laughed. My husband was making fun of me a lot. He was like, what are you reading? It's like, it's so good. It has such a beautiful narrative. And you've really done a beautiful job of making it feel like a movie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wrote this book like I create a bottle of fragrance. And when I create a bottle of fragrance, I empty everything I feel into that bottle. And when it's finished, I feel empty.
What was the most challenging thing about writing this book? Was it sort of keeping on a strict schedule from a logistics standpoint, or was it more about sort of diving into some of those darker memories?
I think the most difficult thing was my childhood, was reliving moments in my childhood. My parents and all my family are now passed away. So it was reliving some of those memories. The most wonderful bit was I fell in love with my mum and dad all over again. You know, my dad was this amazing, creative artist.
Character.
He was a character.
You're going to make me cry again, Jo. Jesus. So one of the things that Jo says in the book is that image follows the scent. All of these really cool stories about how she just had all these different notes and how your sight and your taste sort of comes into play. How does that happen? I mean,
I'm dyslexic. And so dyslexics that isn't a disability to have dyslexia. It's just the ability to think differently.
Yeah.
When I try and do it in a conventional fashion, I end up with some pretty horrible fragrances.
if you could go back to you as a little girl, is there anything that you would tell her?
Don't be in such a hurry because you will get there.
That scene of you as a little girl at the frosted window, and can you tell the audience a little bit about that scene from the book?
I remember one day being upstairs in my bedroom and we had no central heating and it was snowy outside and the inside of my window had iced up. And I remember standing there and taking my finger and cutting through the ice and thinking, I don't want to live like this for the rest of my life. I don't want to live in fear of where we're going to get the next meal, in fear whether my mum and dad are going to be there. And I don't want to live like this, and I'm determined I will get myself out of this. And it was a real moment where this little girl called out to life and said, I refuse to live like this.
The wind started to chill the back of my neck. Winter was on its way, and I smiled. I remembered me as a little girl standing at my frosted window, not wanting to feel the cold and vowing never to live in struggle ever, ever again. And now there I was in a position where I would never have to worry about money again. I felt a huge swell of emotion, not only because I felt gratitude of happiness, but because I felt my own pride in that little girl who had never given up on her dream. Maybe in the end, that's the only pride worth chasing. It gives me goosebumps, guys. Come on. Like, it's just incredible.
I walked past that spot the other day in the park, and I'm going to go in the weekend, and a certain airline had lost my case, so I was standing in a tracksuit.
And I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about your new brand, Jo Loves. And when you sort of spoke now about how life comes full circle and how funny life is, I love that the Jo Loves store is now at the deli you worked at as a young girl.
It was. So at 16 years old, I had my first job in a flower shop, and I got fired because I tipped a bucket of water over somebody. And I was sent up to the deli to work, which was number 42 Elizabeth Street. I was fired again because I gave a tramp a smoked salmon sandwich. So I was fired twice in the space of a few months.
That's a homeless person, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And anyway, and for my 49th birthday, I was looking for a home for Jo Loves, and I couldn't find it. My husband gave me this little box, and I thought it was diamonds, as you do, with a little box about your husband gives it to you. And I opened it. It was a key. And he said, go be a shopkeeper again, Jo, because you're an absolute nightmare being at home. And I said, well, where is it? And it was 42 Elizabeth Street. So my life brought me full circle. And I felt life say, you will change the world again in this place. and I'm giving it my best shot.
Well, if Pomelo, your new fragrance, is any indication of that, I can guarantee you that's already happening.
Thank you.
Because it smells amazing.
I'll paint you. We'll give you tapas.
Yes.
We'll do New York
Tapas
tapas.
of all kinds of tapas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone here, too.